And there goes the sound. We are live now, Damon.
Okay, well, welcome one and all to the uh, fourth GT3 Club event here at Race Department. Today we're live at Laguna Seca after the first 3 rounds at a first round at Spa, second round at Sebring, and third round at Monza. We are now back in the Americas again, Laguna Seca, with the biggest grid that we've had so far. 29 guys on the server today. Hoping for a fantastic race. We are 10 minutes into qualifying at the minute. So let's see how it goes. We've got some pretty fast times up there. 1:21 is our fastest time at the moment. Daniel Hacker with his 1:21. That's
pretty fast.
That is 6. Well, yes, 700ths quicker than the next fastest guy, who's got a 1:22 dead, Marcel Bonnet, who's driving the 458, a fairly difficult car to drive around this track. It feels a lot more rigid to drive around this track than some of the other cars do. Daniel driving the Vantage GT3, the Aston Martin. Following that, at the moment, we've got Franklin Stegging, who's driving the GT3 Gallardo, Lamborghini Gallardo. He's a 1:23. So the first 2 guys are have clearly put in some absolutely fantastic laps there, over a second quicker than the guys below them. So third place is currently quite a bit off the pace. But it's an hour-long race, so qualifying isn't everything. However, this is a very narrow track, so overtaking is definitely going to be something that is difficult. So the higher up the grid you are, the better the chance you're going to have of making the jump and finishing high up by the end of the race. But like I say, it's an hour-long event. It's a hard track on tyres, so pitting is almost certainly going to be a necessity this evening.
Yeah, so let's see some of the last drivers here taking part in the qualifying. Thank you for your kind introducing words, Damon. Just to introduce myself, I'm Ricardo Edelman. With me here is Damon Patel. We're commentators for tonight's race. As you said,
thank you very much, Ricardo.
Race Department's GT3 Club race number 5 today, Laguna Seca.
Number 4.
Number 4, isn't it number 5?
No, number 4.
Oh, okay, it's number 5. 4, okay. So, we're currently in the qualifying. Damon just told you about some times the guys are driving. I saw some 1:21s in the practice. So I think it's gonna be a fast race, and I hope
definitely going to be a very fast race. Yep.
Yeah, and I hope we won't see any major damages on the car because of some crashes.
Yep, let's hope that we don't have too many incidents, and we've certainly still got some quick guys to put some lap times in the qualifying session. Frederick Schornstein, who has been a winner in previous races in this GT3 club, is currently yet to go out. He's biding his time at the minute. Probably going to end up putting in an absolutely fantastic lap at the end, but we'll see how that goes. He's driving in the RM8. He's driving the Audi R8 Ultra today, which is different from his. His preferred car is the Porsche, but that's had to be discounted due to some technical issues. So he's decided he's going to take out the Audi here today. There's also a few other fast guys, including Oscar Hardwick, who was also up there during the practice session, as were Callum McClure and a few other guys. So it's definitely going to be a tight race up at the top. We've also got a few disqualifications down at the bottom. Just some guys putting in one too many laps. I guess that was a minor oversight by some of these guys when they were performing their laps. So Gary Lennon, Leon Charmant, and Stephen Pubols are currently in the list of drivers who will start at the back of the grid. There is also the option to start from the lane today for drivers that wish to do so due to any issues that they would like to ensure that they don't have at the beginning of the race. So that will be the safer option.
Yeah, I think so.
And the start.
I just turned the screen to grid view, live timing view. Here you can see the timing at the moment on the track.
Yep, Andrew Ford is up there, yeah.
Yeah, we have Daniel Haig in front of the pack at the moment. But I'm excited to see Fredrik Schortstein doing his qualification laps, because he was and is one of the fastest drivers here in the field. So let's see what comes next. We'll check Oscar Hardwick in his Nissan doing his outlap and his qualification laps.
Yep, Oscar Hardwick is new to the GT3 Club, but he put in a very strong time during the practice session, so we'll see how this goes for him. He's a very, very quick driver. He's driven in a few other leagues and series and clubs, so we're definitely expecting something from him. We certainly think that he'll push Fredrik to his limit. So we'll see how that goes. Just as he's coming up to the final corner now to start his first timed lap. This qualifying session works using a 5-lap it's a 5-lap system. That's 3 timed laps, one out lap and 1 in lap. So Oscar has just started his first time lap. Yep.
A bit struggling in the second part of the first corner.
Yep. Do you want to ride on board with him, Ricardo?
Oh yeah, why not? Let's just do that. Currently we're on board at Oscar's car. He's doing pretty well, I think. I was driving his car
very stable through that corner, yeah.
Fast around that left-hander.
Yep.
Approaching corkscrew. Good line.
His time is certainly matching the guys who are up near the top of the timing screen at the moment.
Yep, oh, definitely. Bit of struggling in the last corner.
Bit of a wiggle in the final corner, yep. Just coming up to the start-finish line now. And Oscar puts in a 1:21.6. That currently puts him right on top. He's outpaced Daniel Hacker by 0.3 of a second. It's an absolutely fantastic lap there in qualifying. Now to see if he puts in another lap. Surprised that Freddie still hasn't gone out yet. Still 10 minutes to go though, so plenty of time to put in a fast lap. Dennis Kufal also hasn't gone out in his Lamborghini Gallardo GT3. He's known for doing his qualifying laps right at the last moment, performing under pressure. I think that's where he performs best. So we're going to have a quick rundown through the current order. We have Oscar Hardwick. He is followed by Daniel Hacker in second position. Then Marcel Bonnet is in third position, followed by Andrew Ford in fourth position. Then Matt Horst in fifth, followed by Franklin Stegink in 6th, Stefan Kanitz in 7th, Callum McClure in 8th, Stefan Woudenberg. Fantastic performance from him after struggling in 2 of the rounds. The first 2 rounds of this of the GT3 Club, he had 2 DNFs following technical issues, and he's currently 9th. And the top end is rounded up by Davy van der Ven.
So we're waiting for the last few guys who are going out now.
Just
the last few minutes.
Just Freddie and Dennis left to do their laps.
Yeah, 8 minutes 48 to go.
Yep, most of the guys have already put in their lap times, and now we'll round up 11th to 20th. So starting 11th, Gijs van Elden, followed by Theo van Dijk. 13th position, Christopher Vretos. 14th position, Marcel Gerber. Followed by Kevin Cox in 15th position. 16th is Michael. Followed by Balad Sorben in 17th. 18th position is Davy Lowries. 19th position, Nicky DeFrey. And 20th position is Keith Griffel.
Currently, Frederick Schornstein is on his out lap. We'll join him on his journey to through this qualifying. He's currently approaching the left-hander right before the corkscrew, and I think we'll go on board with him.
The very tricky corner here, this corkscrew, incredibly bumpy. Almost a slide there massive slide there for Freddie on his outlap. So I can just imagine that he's going to be absolutely on the ragged edge for his time lap.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll put in everything he has to get on top of this pack.
Yep, indeed he will.
Maybe to try to get away from the start, not causing any damage to his car because of some guys braking too late or something like that.
Yep, indeed.
I think in such a big grid, you don't want to start in the middle of the grid.
Certainly not, no. So we're on board with Freddie at the moment.
Yeah, he's a bit struggling in these right-handers. Let's see how fast he goes through this. A bit slower than Oscar.
He was 0.3 slower in the first section, and is currently 0.2 slower in the second section. So it's not quite shaping up for Freddie at the moment, but he's still got 2 more time laps to go after this. So we'll see how it goes for him.
Yep. The speed difference in his left-hander before the corkscrew was about 5 to 10 kilometers per hour. Freddie was a bit slower there. Had not a good line.
Not the best lap time there for Freddie Schornstein. 1:22, still a fantastically quick lap, but not the quickest he's produced for this race so far.
That looks better now.
Yeah, looking a lot more composed.
Yeah, bit of sliding, that's normal in this corner. Going wide, getting full speed here on this straight.
And that is he is currently now 0.2 faster than. No, he's currently 1/10 faster now in the first sector.
That looked better. Almost 180 kilometers per hour through this left-hander.
He's dropped 2/10 in the second sector, however, so we'll see how this final sector shapes up for him.
Got a bit too wide there.
Bit of a lift there, yep, going into the going into corner,
almost
into
cutting
corner.
the final corner there, and overstand the finish.
Fourth, that moves him up to fourth. He's definitely improved on his time by 0.4 of a second, but we'll see if he can put in an even quicker time now. This is his final timed lap. Meanwhile, Dennis Qaulyfying is also out on track at the moment and has just started his. Well, he's also almost halfway around the track for his first timed lap.
Oh, that costs time here for Frederick. He went a bit too far on the outside. He's slow in this left-hander too, so this will not be a new best time in this qualification.
Nah, he's lost 0.4 of a second in that second sector alone. Yeah. Even though he was a tenth quicker in the first sector.
He's trying to push a bit too hard, I think.
Yep,
he
almost
wants
certainly.
To improve, but it was a bit too brutal
just pushing
there.
a bit too hard. Yep.
Yeah, a bit too hard. So we'll just watch him going over the start and finish line and switch to Dennis.
Dennis Qaulyfying is
there he is.
Halfway around the track for his second time lap. So that leaves Freddie in fourth position, splitting Marcel Bonnet and Andrew Ford. So the top five are divided by 0.8 of a second. So it's going to be some very close running at the front, despite the slightly poor qualifying from Freddie. It's going to be a very, very tight front of the grid there, especially going into the first corner. I can imagine all these guys will be very fast getting off the line and trying to get their noses into the corner first.
Okay, Dennis just started his second timed lap, I think.
Third timed lap.
It's the third. Okay.
Yep.
He's currently in the.
Oh no, I think you're right. It might be second.
Just I'll just go on board with him in his Lamborghini with the number 2 from the VLN.
And we have just over 1 minute left in this qualifying session. Dennis Qaulyfying is currently in 13th position and has pushed down Theo van der Brink, who was in 12th, has also been pushed down following Frederick Schornstein's qualifying. So he is behind Gijs van Elden. This lap is certainly looking much quicker for Dennis Qaulyfying. He's 0.5 up at the moment.
I had a bit of not a good line through this right-hander before the last corner, and he went.
And he goes in 11th.
11th, okay.
So he has improved on his lap time by 0.2 of a second, and that's the end of qualifying with only 20 seconds remaining. So we will now move into the warm-up session.
Yeah, it's now a warm-up session for about 50 minutes, I think.
15 minutes, yep.
Yeah, 50 minutes qualifying. Some guys will practice their starts and just try to get some more rubber on the track or get a bit safer on the track. And after that, you'll see a hopefully nice start.
Yep, fingers crossed. Yep, and we even have, for the first time in for the GT3 Club, a safety car today. Safety car will be driven by Simon Kreisman, who is kind enough to start the race for us.
And he's a pretty fast safety car too. We saw him doing some 125s, I think, in a training session.
Yep, it was indeed.
Practicing,
Yeah.
practicing to drive a bit around the track. And I think that's pretty fast for a safety car. So as we're now in the warm-up session, we see some guys directly going out of the pits.
Yep, there's quite a few guys coming out the pits at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, the guys are stopping, waiting for the traffic light to be green. And off they went. I really have to say I like this feature with the skin sharing. It looks much better now with several different skins.
Yep, definitely.
And the grid is really spread. Like we have several Aston Martins, several Ferraris, and some
Yeah,
Audis.
we have a wide variety of cars. Yep, definitely, definitely have a very wide variety of cars.
We even have one F430.
One F430, 430 has been used before, but to most people's surprise, we also have two GTRs. GTRs, this is the first time that GTRs have been used in the GT3 Club. So we'll see how they fare here at this incredibly difficult track. GTRs today will be driven by David O'Reilly, who is in the Nissan GT Academy team, Nismo GT3.
This is the white version of it, I think.
I believe so, yes.
And then there's another one with the GTR number 32.
Oscar Hardwick is in the RJN Motorsports Nismo GT3.
This should be the black one, I think. The black.
I believe so, yes. Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
Stefan Woudenberg sticks with his McLaren despite having the issues in the first two rounds at Spa and Sebring. I think it's almost a good omen. Well, he's hoping it will be a good omen for him, but we'll see how it goes. We wish him all the best after the first two races. But most cars are on track at the moment. Only cars that are still in the pits include Andrew Ford, Matt Horst, Franklin Stegig, Dennis Kufal, Christopher Fretos, Bernard Sorban, and Rui Martins. Rui Martins is somebody who rarely does a warm-up session. Perceives them to be a bit of a bad omen, so he decides it's best to sit out in the warm-up sessions. As Mike Bell just leaves the pits now to start to compete in this warm-up session. Most of the guys seem to be sitting tight at the moment, but
even our safety car is back on track, driving some laps, as we can just see here.
Simon Kreisman just putting in some practice laps at the moment.
Yeah, he's just trying to set up a good time for the pace car. But it's a pretty decent pace car too. if we watch it here. Looks pretty good.
It would certainly give some of the cars on track a run for their money. Although a bit of an off there.
Yeah, we have some pretty decent liveries on the track right now. I really like some of them.
Yep, David Lowry's is using a custom livery for his ISD team.
Yeah, I think it's the BMW Z4.
It's the BMW Z4. Yep, that's
the
correct.
yellow
Yep.
one.
Yep, that's correct.
He's just approaching the
and-
first. He's just approaching the first corner, or he's in the first corner at the moment.
Yep.
Just leaving.
Also being used by his teammate, I believe, Stephen Pubols.
Yeah, I think so.
Bit of a battle going on there, and even in the warm-up session between Stephen Pubols and Marcel Gerber.
Now
These
we can
guys are
just
clearly
see-
really fired up for this race.
Yeah, we can just see it in the stream at the moment. These two fighting like in the race.
There's a lovely red brake glow as they come into these tighter corners, braking quite hard into some of these tighter corners.
Yeah, that's true. And I love that sound of the BMW. It's really
BMW's
nice.
got a lovely grunt, yes.
Yeah. It's like the BMW just wants to say to give me more. Just put
Yep.
the pedal to the metal.
Exactly,
Just
just
like that.
make more noise. Just keep
Yeah.
making more noise.
Yeah.
So now, I guess most of the guys are now also using race fuel. Obviously, during the qualifying session, they would have reduced the amount of fuel that they're holding. So, current times are the fastest current time is a 1:22, which is just under a second slower than the fastest qualifying time. So this will be the time that we'll expect, certainly towards the beginning of the race. But as the track gets more and more rubber and fuel is used, I should imagine we'll see some increasingly faster lap times.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe we can get closer to the 120s. I think a bit more is possible there.
Yes, I almost believe so.
So I think the fastest time was 121.6 or 5, something like that. So half a second I think is possible for these guys as they get used to the track and to due to the lower fuel level and more rubber on the track.
Yep, exactly. Lovely feature. Well, I say it's a lovely system by ISI. The railroad, absolutely fantastic. Really makes you think. Really makes you focus as the track conditions change. You have to adapt to these track conditions. Absolutely amazing. And surprisingly, Roy Martins has decided he's going to go out for to join in with the warm-up. But he's already come in after one lap. I guess that's all he wanted to do, just to make sure that he got his eye in. Probably is now going to practice some clutch starts. He does enjoy the clutch start, so he will maybe practice some clutch starts on the in the pit lane.
Currently we're seeing the white Nissan GTR driven by, who was the guy who's driving the...
David O'Reilly. David O'Reilly.
O'Reilly's,
Yep.
Okay. Currently we're seeing him doing some test laps in the warm-up session here. He's just approaching the corkscrew.
The car's absolutely flying through the corkscrew. It's a very bumpy section of the track. You'll notice that the front wheels almost certainly will end up leaving the asphalt at some point. Car will be flying through the air. Guy's in complete control of the car. Keep trying to fight the car, making sure that it stays on track and doesn't go awry. Looking at Marcel Bonnet at the moment, really just pushing at the moment. I guess trying to get his eye in for the race, just prepare himself for some tough battles out there.
I'm still in the car from David O'Reilly, on board at the moment in his Nissan, and it looks like he was trying to set up some good laps, stable laps, not pushing too hard. He's just trying to get us race pace. Approaching the corkscrew now. And as you can see, it is really bumpy out there. So you have to be really careful with the gas, and you have to watch your line. Also in this corner he just spun there. You just have to watch out that you don't get too onto the gravel on the outside of the corner. If you do, you're lost.
The rear of the car. Yep, the rear of the car gets very light going into that corner. It's very, very slippery. So you've just got to make sure that you thread the throttle like a needle, going through that corner, just to make sure that your back end doesn't lose grip.
And here we have Aston Martin with the number 89. First time in the stream here. You can see Aston Martin who's doing some laps in the warm-up session. Damon, could you look please?
Yeah, Callum McClure.
Callum McClure, okay, cool. He's doing some laps with his Gulf Racing Aston Martin.
Absolutely fantastic looking livery. Beautiful livery.
Yeah, but it's not original. It's not original enough. The blue is a bit... It is not that blue from the Gulf Racing team from the 70s.
No, definitely not.
So
No.
as we can just see him going through the corkscrew, where you can see the front wheels are almost jumping off the asphalt there.
Yep, wheels are dancing through the corkscrew almost.
Yeah. And he went a
bit
bit
of a
to
spin
the
there.
outside and just spun out. But nothing happened. He could just restart, but he just sets back to the pits.
Kevin Cox and Andrew Ford just having a bit of a battle as well, just in the warm-up again.
Is it a BMW and a Audi?
BMW and Audi, yes.
Okay, I'm currently on the Audi.
Yep, the black Audi is yep, let me just make sure who that is, sorry. Andrew Ford in the black Audi, and Kevin Cox in the grey BMW.
Okay, nice. Okay, just for explanation, it's like I have full screen, just what you see, and Damon has the timing and stuff. We have no live timing available at the moment, so he has to make the live timing, and I'll just bring the cars to you.
Yep, I'll relay the information to Ricardo, and we'll do the best that we can to bring you as much of the action as we can, as we've got only 10 seconds left in the warm-up session, 8 seconds left, so we're almost about to begin the race. So hold on to your seats, guys. This is going to definitely be an interesting one. As we come to the end of the warm-up session.
I'll just set back the stream. I just switched to the GT3 Club picture at the moment. We'll just wait for the start, and we'll be back with more moving pictures right then.
Right. We're gonna ride a little bit with the pace car during this race start.
Non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
So first of all, we'll see if there will be any starters from the pit lane. At the moment, as far as we know, everyone will be starting from the grid.
Okay, we're just waiting for the safety car.
Okay, just a bit of an issue with the safety car. Safety car is at the back of the track.
I think
okay,
the admin forgot to...
Not a problem. Safety car will just make sure nobody spins at the back of this track then, I guess.
I think the admin of the server forgot to set the safety car on the front of the pack. As we can just see Oscar in front of the pack here, followed by Daniel Haig and Marcel Bonnet. But it seems like nobody spun yet. Stephen
No, seems like a fairly safe start to the race at the moment.
Okay, I think Simon tries to overtake some guys to get to the front with his safety car.
I'm not sure if that'll be enough time, to be honest.
Yeah, the field is spread very wide over the track. If we would do a Le Mans start, we would need the whole start and finish straight plus the first two corners, I think.
Yep, indeed. Yep, really gentle and good formation lap at the moment. No issues, and it also seems as though everyone will be starting from the. Everyone will be starting on the grid, so there won't be anybody starting from within the pit lane, which is a good sign.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Right, so just a quick rundown again of the top 10. Oscar Hardwick starts at the front of the pack, followed by Daniel Hacker, and Marcel Bonnet is on the second row of the grid, next to Frederick Schornstein. In fifth position, Andrew Ford, next to Matt Horst. Then we have Franklin Stegink and Stefan Kanitz. And finally, the top 10 is rounded up by Callum McClure and Stefan Woudenberg as the last of the cars line up on the grid, ready for the race start. Right, let's go as we hear the klaxon counting down.
And off they go.
And we are go. We are
It
go.
looked like a false start from with Aston Martin there in the front of the pack.
It did almost. Oscar Hardwick tried to close the door on him a little bit, and is still ahead, almost. Fairly safe-looking start as Daniel Hacker moves into first position. Oscar
And
Hardwick
we have a crash at the
being...
back of the grid. We have a crash at the back of the grid. There's Ballas Orban who spun out there. I didn't see exactly what happened, but it looked like there were some cars involved.
Ballas is back on track again.
Yeah, he's
just
driving,
playing the catch-up game. Back at the front of the pack, Daniel Hacker and Oscar Hardwick. Oh, Daniel Hacker's just spun. Daniel Hacker is just spun.
and he has a pit sign. It looks like he has signed a stop and go.
Absolutely fantastic start there by Frederick Schornstein, who's moved up into second position from his fourth edition starting spot. Daniel Hacker has moved down to sixth position and has potentially got a stop penalty. Stop-go penalty, sorry. Yep, it looks like that is the case as he enters the pits. Oh, I think it was just a drive-through penalty actually, as he exits the pits again. And he is now moved down to
nice
15th
overtake
position.
there. Nice overtake, but spun out there. Theo Vandenbrink had a nice option there to overtake and just spun out in the first corner.
Now being challenged by Leon Charmant and Kevin Cox. No, not Kevin Cox. Nicky DeFrey. So Theo Vandenbrink is certainly being given certainly facing a lot of pressure from Leon Charmant and Nicky DeFrey.
And I really have to say, the sound is awesome of these cars.
Yep,
In such a
absolutely
big-
amazing
it
sound.
sounds amazing. As we see, Dennis Kufal approaching the corkscrew there and just spun out. Had a bad braking point there and just spun out.
And Dennis is on the sand, a very difficult place to get out of on this track, especially on
And
this track.
there are some more crashes, I think.
It looks like David O'Reilly also potentially exiting the. David O'Reilly also spun exiting the corkscrew, but he's now back on track again. And somebody running wide in the blue and yellow. In the blue and yellow Z4, I believe.
And Christopher Frettos just overtook Davey Lovers in the last corner.
Engine blow up.
Which engine blow off?
The blue McLaren.
The blue McLaren? Oh, that's not good.
Blue McLaren. Okay, that can. It's not Stefan Woodenberg, so that's a good sign.
It was the car that gone wild.
Okay.
Okay, so we have one car that's not long in the race.
Oh yes, I see. Yeah, that is. I can't see who that is actually. But he's currently on the pit straight. Andrew Ford is currently in the pits as well. It's Keith Griffall. Keith Griffall in the R8 Ultra is currently I believe suffered an engine failure. I believe. Oh, that was the yellow and blue car that ran wide into the going into just outside the penultimate corner. Daniel Hacker struggling there. Back seems to be stepping out quite a bit. Keith Griffall has just moved into the pits now. Was in a relatively safe place, but yep, he has suffered an engine failure. That's a huge blow on the first lap. That's such a shame. But we still have 27 runners in the race. Let's go to the top. Go to the front. Oscar Hardwick has increased his gap to over 3 seconds to Frederick Schornstein. Absolutely fantastic there by Oscar Hardwick. Just continues to pull away in the lead. Absolutely amazing racing there.
At the moment, we see Stefan Woudenberg, Gary Lennon, and Leon Charmant having a battle here with Nicky de
Four-way
Vries
battle there, yep.
Yeah, in front of the pack there.
That's a battle for 11th, 12th, and 13th. Absolutely great racing there.
Seeing
Some
them
pretty close
approaching
racing.
the corkscrew here. Nicky de Vries closed the door there for Stefan Woudenberg.
Yep, it looked like Nicky de Vries' car stepped out almost a little bit at the back. It allowed Stefan to catch up a little bit, but Leon is right on the back. Oh, Leon has gone right off. I think he missed his braking point completely there.
Yeah, it looked like it. He just missed it.
Completely outbraked himself, not taking into consideration the slipstream we would have got off the back of Stefan Woudenberg's car. Gary Lennon seems to have dropped off a little bit as well, but Stefan and Nicky de Vries still having a very close battle there. Gary Lennon does seem to be closing the gap a little bit. Followed by Christopher Fretos and David Lowry's also fairly close to that battle. All of those are separated by 1 second. So absolutely great racing there between those 5 drivers.
Okay, the back is the gap is getting a bit bigger there. Nicky de Vries tries to pull away from Stefan Woudenberg as the other 3 guys are approaching them.
Back at the front again, Oscar Hardwick has now increased his gap to 5 seconds, and it looks like there's a very, very close fight there between Frederick Schornstein and Marcel Bonnet for second position. Absolutely great battle going on up at the front of this circuit, followed fairly closely by Stefan Canitz as well. But the battle between Frederick and Marcel is absolutely nose to tail, really.
Yeah, we're just watching them in the cockpit of Marcel Bonnet. We're just at the moment in the cockpit.
Some great racing going on there. Those two separated by 0.2 of a second at the moment.
Yeah, really close racing there. Frederick got away a bit better in the corkscrew, but had a not so good line in the left-hander after the corkscrew.
As Marcel tries to make a move on the outside, but Frederick blocks the inside absolutely amazingly well.
Closes the door again.
Whoa! That's very, very close there. Marcel and Frederick right beside each other going into turn 1. Marcel on the outside. Frederick just about seems to hold his place. Oh, this is very close. Marcel's definitely going to get the upper hand going into turn 2, and he does, makes the move and moves up into second position, but Freddie's right behind him. Somebody seems to be flashing their lights. I think Freddie's flashing his lights.
Freddie's flashing. Maybe there was a smaller contact in one of these corners.
Stefan has closed the gap on Freddie as well. Freddie's lost some ground, and Stefan is almost about to make a move as well on Freddie. In the Ferrari RF Corsa, Freddie runs a bit wide, and Stefan makes the move and makes it and passes and moves into third position. Freddie's now down to fourth position. There's absolutely amazing racing going on here, as Oscar Hardwick now increases the gap to 7 seconds. Front runner's absolutely running away with it, and then in 5th position we've got Callum McClure, who's almost running a race on his own there. No pressure at all. So all he's trying to do now is catch up with Freddie, who seems to be struggling a little bit on this track, which is quite a surprise given his performances during the last 2 races.
And during the training session, he was fastest in the training, and is a bit slower now. So Maybe he's not that concentrated as he was in
Seems
the
to
other
be
races.
struggling somewhat. David Lowry's has run wide into the corkscrew, almost crashed. Stephen Poolballs and David Lowry's two teammates for ISD running behind each other now, behind Leon Charmand in 12th, 13th, and 14th position. It doesn't look like David Lowry's has any damage, so he continues to run. David Lowry's is in the car with the blue wing, with the blue wing mirrors and sidewalls on his rear wing. Stephen Poolballs with the orange wing mirrors and side on his rear wing.
We're currently on Leon Charman's Ferrari. With a look at the back, we can see two BMW Z4s approaching him, trying to fight him, but
Yep,
it looks like...
That's Stephen Poolballs and David Lowry's, yep.
And but it seems like he's trying to pull away from them, and maybe it looks like he's pulling away from them slightly, but the gap is getting bigger. Oh,
yep.
And there was a spin from Stephen Poolballs. He just spun out in this left-hander, causing a position loss. Dennis Kufal just overtook him, and two other guys overtook him too. He's still on the gravel there. Has to wait for the last cars there.
Back up at the front, Frederick Schornstein has now moved back up into third position again, overtaken Stefan Kannitz, and has increased the gap there to just under a second. Marcel Bonnet has also closed the gap to Oscar Hardwick, now down to 6 seconds. So Oscar Hardwick has lost a second there, or Marcel Bonnet has gained a second, should I say.
We're currently at Frederick Schornstein, who's fighting with Stefan Kannitz for the third place, as they are approaching Stephen Poolballs, who's being overlapped by them.
Yep, it's being lapped by Frederick Schornstein and Stefan Kannitz. Very close battle going on there. So I should imagine the blue flags are being waved at Stephen Poolballs at the minute, who pulls over now, lets the two guys through. Stephen Kannitz is still very, very close to the back of Frederick Schornstein. That's going to be a very interesting battle as that pans out throughout the course of this race for the next 45 minutes. And going back to the guys who are out. Keith Griffol, as we all know, had an engine problem. Davy van der Ven and Daniel Hacker, who was at the front of who started in second position, they're both out with suspension issues. And Stefan Wudenberg, once again, it's such a shame, he's got a DNF for an unknown reason at the moment. Possibly another engine issue, but the timing screen only says a DNF at the moment. Such a shame for Stefan there, and all of the other non-finishers at the moment. But still 24 runners.
And we currently see Marcel Gerber with he lost his front splitter, I think. He lost his complete front
Yep,
there.
It looks like it.
I don't know if he were in the pits actually, or if he wants to go there, or if he just wants to go on with the race.
I think he's been continuing with the race with that issue, with that front bumper missing for quite a while now. He is currently a lap down and chasing Stephen Poolballs. They are both still fairly close to one another, so he's certainly closing the gap.
As you can see, Callum McClure between these two guys. approaching Stephen Pooballs in his BMW.
Still very much running his own races, Callum McClure in 5th position. He is 20 seconds behind Stefan Kanitz. Sorry, no, that's a lie, sorry. He's currently 7 seconds behind Stefan Kanitz and 24 seconds ahead of Nicky Defray. Marcel Bonnet in 2nd position seems to be maintaining his gap to Oscar Hardwick. Currently the gap stands at 6.5 seconds. So we'll see when and if there are any pit stops, whether or not Marcel would be able to make the jump on Oscar, but he certainly seems to be putting in an absolutely blinding performance as Oscar, especially for his first race. Currently catching up with Rui Martins and Dennis Koufal, who are running towards the in the middle of the pack at the moment.
Yeah,
I'm just
at Oscar Hardwick. It just looked like he was cutting the corner there, the small left-hander before the corkscrew.
Yep. And the blue flags must be waving at Dennis Koufal at the moment, but he's almost certainly more interested in his battle with Rui Martins at the minute. That's a fight there for 13th position, I believe. No, 14th position, sorry. But they're currently locked in battle.
Yeah, and
I should imagine the blue flags are waving.
It looks like he's pulling away, and yeah, he overtook Rui
Dennis
Martin.
Koufal has made the move, but the blue flags are almost still waving at Oscar Hardwick for Oscar Hardwick.
And there's a car in the first corner standing. They're just somebody just went off in the first corner.
First corner.
I think it was the white and red McLaren from Christopher Rettos.
Yeah, Christoph Rettos, yeah.
Who went off there in the first corner.
He is currently battling with Balat Sorban.
As we can just see Dennis Koufal, who's going through the corkscrew. And I see another come to pit sign in the top left corner of my screen. It seems like Dennis has planned pit stop, or he has a penalty.
I guess that might be I guess that, in fact, that may well be a penalty due to blue flag almost being ignored there. Car gone off in the final corner. Let's check who that is. Finding it very difficult at the moment to check who that is.
I think it was Bala Sorban who's
yes, it was Bala
being
Sorban. Yep, in the Ferrari 453. Yeah, 458. Sorry.
Yeah, who's lapped by Stefan Kanitz.
Yep, that's correct. Yep. Frederick Schornstein has now pulled away from Stefan Kanitz. He seems to have lost quite a bit of time. The gap between them is currently 7 seconds.
Callum McClure is closing the gap.
Callum McClure is closing the gap to Stefan Kanitz.
Stefan Kanitz just spun out, gets back to the track, but Callum McClure just overtook him. So Callum McClure just upped himself one position.
Yep, Callum McClure now in 4th, Stefan Kanitz in 5th. Stefan seems to be struggling a bit with the AF Corsa 458 Ferrari. But Callum McClure now chasing down Frederick Schornstein.
Nice move from Bala Sorban, who made some space for Callum McClure there. He's definitely not ignoring the blue flags. And Dennis Koufal has a drive-through penalty. I saw that just right now. He is now just going out of the pits, approaching corner 1. Yeah.
Just exiting just in front of Frederick Schornstein.
Yeah.
So
He's just
hopefully
in
he
front.
moves over this time. Frederick Schornstein flashes him furiously to them to move out the way. Frederick's still flashing. Although
But I think the gap is big enough to.
the gap is big enough that Dennis doesn't yet have to move over.
Yeah. But I think Stefan is trying to make his move now. And,
Yep, there you go.
There's again a pit stop sign for Dennis Kufal. Yeah, for Dennis Kufal. There's another pit stop sign for Dennis Kufal.
Maybe this time an actual pit, or
It could be. I don't know. How much time is left in the race?
Fantastic battle between Kevin Cox and Nicky DeFrey at the minute. 7th and 8th. Kevin Cox and Nicky DeFrey. Absolutely fantastic battle going on there between the two Z4s.
Yeah, I see it. We are currently on board at Nicky DeFrey in his BMW, chasing
Dennis
down
is in the
Kevin
pit.
Cox. Is he stopping or is he going through?
I think for his penalty.
Okay.
Dennis has gone through for a penalty and is exiting the pits again. But the battle between
Nicky
Kevin
DeFrey,
Cox and Nicky DeFrey
Nicky
continues.
DeFrey.
Nicky DeFrey has gone wide
Yeah, the back of the car stepped out a bit there. Lost.
and now he's got to do all that work again.
Yeah, he lost a big amount of time there.
And Andrew Ford, who's behind Nicky DeFrey, is a lap down at the moment, so this could be an opportunity for him to unlap himself. As we are now almost halfway through the race, almost 30 minutes through the race. So the gap between Kevin Cox and Nicky DeFrey now stands at 5 seconds. So we'll see if Nicky 4 seconds in for that matter. So Nicky DeFrey catching up with Kevin Cox again. So this may well be another fantastic battle on our hands here. Kevin Cox, meanwhile, also 4 seconds behind Gijs van Elden, who is currently in 6th position. So made quite a few places up there. But the gap then stands at just.
I just saw a yellow BMW spinning out there.
Yep,
just
that was
in
Stephen
the
Poolballs
left-hander.
there.
Yep,
Stephen
Stephen
Poolballs spinning out into the left-hander, going up to the corkscrew. 32 seconds is the gap between Gijs van Elden and Stephen Canet, so the front runners, 5th position upwards, are running away with this race almost. Nonetheless, still absolutely fantastic going on in the midfield. The cars, Kevin Cox has now decreased the gap to Gijs van Elden to 3 seconds. Nicky DeFrey is now to 5 seconds. And has had Andrew Ford unlap himself as well.
Okay,
so
Stephen
it looks
Poolballs is pitting at the moment. He's just going into the pits. Let's see. And there's another car standing in the pits, just going out at the moment. Oh, and it looks like he just missed his pit, or... Yeah, he missed his pit. He drove a bit too wide.
That looks like
right there.
Stephen Poolballs. That is Stephen Poolballs missed his pit position.
Yeah.
Looks
now
like
he's
in his
spinning.
spot now. Yep. Meanwhile, Simon Kreisman is catching up with Rui Martins at the moment.
So you say our safety car is still out?
Safety car is still out. Safety car is racing.
Okay, nice.
As long as I have fuel.
That's good to know. Some good etiquette there from somebody who was exiting the pits, as Rui Martins and Simon Kreisman went past. Somebody in a 458, I believe that was Balad Sorban, waiting for the cars, in front of him to continue their racing. Balad Sorban is now 2 laps down, as is Stephen Poolballs. Kiel Ilersten. Eilertsen, sorry, my bad.
Kjell Eilertsen.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was trying too hard to pronounce that surname, I think. My apologies. Yeah, Kjell Eilertsen is also out of the race now. After 12 laps, he suffered some suspension damage and is also now out of the race. The leaders, Oscar Hardwick, now on his 18th lap, as are Marcel Bonnet and Frederick Schornstein. The gap between Marcel and Oscar has now decreased to under 5 seconds. Current gap is 4.8 seconds, so Marcel is closing the gap to Marcel. I don't know whether that's because Oscar is having to make his way through quite a lot of traffic at the moment behind Theo van der Brink. And a few other cars, few other back markers, including Andrew Ford, I believe, as well. Marcel Bonnet the gap is now 4 seconds, so Marcel is catching up at a huge rate of knots. Currently, seems to be in quite a lot of space, and can see the car of Theo van der Brink. Theo van der Brink has just gone into the pits, I believe.
Yeah, he's just pitting at the moment, as well as I think it's Stephen Poubels again. I think he has another damage.
Yep, looks like Stephen Poubels is back in the pits. Yep, indeed.
As we can just at the moment see Marcel Bonnet, who's driving his F458 behind the leader Oscar. So it could be a very interesting last
half an hour,
half an hour of the race. If he continues to get closer like this.
Yep, Marcel and Oscar now. 4 seconds is now the gap. 3.9 seconds, sorry, is the gap now.
Could be a really nice race.
Whoa, and if we go to Matt Horst, some absolutely fantastic battle going on there with Franklin Stegging and Marcel Gerber. Three-way battle going on there. Very, very close racing.
Seeing it at the moment. Matt Horst with his McLaren.
Yep.
Is chasing Franklin Stegging in his
Marcel
Gallardo and Marcel Gerber in his 458.
Still with his missing bumper.
Yeah.
But some absolutely great battling going on there. It seems to be calming down a little bit, but it looks like Franklin Stegging is certainly catching up with Marcel Gerber, so that's one to keep your eye on.
Pretty close racing there from these three guys. So
it
I
is
think
indeed.
We'll just jump into the pit, into the cockpit of Franklin Stegging as he's trying to overtake. Ooh, that was close. He's trying to overtake Marcel Gerber there in the first corner. Didn't get it quite.
And has lost quite a bit of time with Matt Horst still right on his tail.
Yeah.
And now we have two DNFs now. Christopher Fretos and Andrew Ford both now DNFs, which leaves us with 23 cars now running in this race.
Which is still
shame.
more than in the last races.
Certainly, yeah. This has been one of the busiest grids that we've had for in the GT3 Club.
Marcel Gerber just went a bit wide, almost spun out there, I think. Yeah, and is now behind Matt Horst. He just lost 2 positions. And Matt Horst spun out in this just before the last corner. Lost his position.
Indeed, yeah. Meanwhile, trying to catch up with his battle is David O'Reilly.
And we can just see Theo van den Brink battling Dennis Koufal here. There's a 5-car pack driving.
Dennis Koufal, David Lowry's, Rui Martins, Simon Kreisman, Dennis Koufal and Theo van der Brink in a 5-way battle there. This could pan out very, very interestingly. As Dennis Koufal looks like to be going a little bit wide there, but
there was almost a move from Theo van den Brink. He just
just looked up the inside.
And Simon Chrisman is
Simon Kreisman. And there was contact there between Rui Martins and Simon Kreisman. Simon manages to keep it on the track.
Yeah.
As Theo and Dennis Koufal managed to make it past, as does Franklin Stegink and Marcel Gerber. Rory Martin's spinning his car around.
And there was another
crash.
Theo van den Brink and Dennis Koufal just touched each other and are standing at the side of the track at the moment.
Cones flying everywhere. It looks like Dennis and Theo are almost stuck together. Almost.
They are definitely stuck together. Looks like they are completely stuck.
Oh dear, must have been a heavy.
It seems like it was a heavy crash
there. Well, all I can say is this looks like it was turned out to be an absolutely wretched race for Dennis Koufal, who's had a few drive-through penalties, a couple of incidents, but was still running fairly nicely.
But he can continue as Theo van den Brink just went back straight to the pits.
Yep. And David O'Reilly's still there, trying to catch up with Marcel Gerber.
And Dennis Koufal is going into the pits for repair, I think.
I should imagine so. Yeah, there looked like it looked like a heavy contact there. 22 drivers still with us. Theo van der Brink, had an engine problem.
I think he just
stalled.
He just blew his engine up with this.
Dennis Koufal back in the pits, and Stephen Poolball's also back in the pits. Stefan Canitz also in the pits.
Yeah.
Stefan Canitz still in 5th position at the moment.
We have a new leader.
Marcel Bonnet is taking the lead from Oscar Hardwick. Seemingly Oscar has pitted or has had an incident.
Yeah, but they are, I think.
But a battle there between Frederick Schornstein and Oscar Hardwick.
I think Oscar was in the pits because Frederick was back a few seconds more than.
Yep, indeed.
Than Marcel, so it could be that he was pitting.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, so it could very well be that Marcel is yet to pit, if he's going to pit at all. But Oscar Hardwick, right on the back of Frederick Schornstein's Audi in his GTR, looking to make a pass. Whoa, and almost a bit of contact there. Oscar Hardwick trying to make a move around the outside of the final corner, but couldn't quite make it stick.
But he's still in.
Still very, very close. Still within. Still 0.3 of a second splits them.
And he's in a slipstream.
Making a move, trying to make a move there again around the outside of turn 1, but couldn't make it stick. Almost outbraked himself going into the first corner. Callum McClure trying to catch up with this absolutely fantastic battle going on between these two drivers at the moment. Meanwhile, middle of the pack, Matt Horst is making a move on Rui Martins. Matt Horst takes 13th, moves up into 11th position, takes it from Rui Martins.
And Oscar just overtook Frederick as Frederick went a bit wider on approach to the corkscrew.
Yep, indeed, and
And
Oscar
he's-
now seems to be pulling away. I assume if he did pit, then he will have much fresher tyres than Frederick, so he's currently pulling away a little bit as Stephen Pubols, one of the back markers, currently. In fact, Stephen Pubols has just been disqualified, I believe. Yep, Stephen Pubols has just been disqualified from the race. I'm not sure what the reason was for that. Maybe ignoring blue flags, but I'm completely unsure regarding that. But that means less traffic for Oscar and Frederick to go through. This leaves 18 drivers now in the race. We have just over 20 minutes to go in this race now. Oscar's pulled away from Freddie, currently 29 seconds behind Marcel. We'll see if Marcel is going to pit. It doesn't look like he's going to pit anytime soon. Certainly, still seems to be running quite solidly. Coming up to lap now, Gijs van Elden, and Kevin Cox also, I believe.
Yeah, Oscar Hardwick is still widening the gap between Frederick and him. Dennis Kufal was in the box, was in the pits again, just came out now. As Marcel Bonnet is running onto Gijs van Elderen.
And back again to David O'Reilly's caught up with Marcel Gerber and Franklin Stegink, so this is definitely going to turn into another battle here towards the back of the pack. This will be a battle for 14th position, 14th, 15th and 16th, all catching up with one another there. Balatz Orban is behind David O'Reilly, even though he's in front of him on track. He's currently about to be lapped.
Yeah, he's currently being lapped from Franklin
Just
Stegink.
been lapped by Franklin Stegink,
Yeah.
and I believe Marcel Gerber will also make his move soon. This will give David O'Reilly a chance to catch up with Marcel Gerber.
As we just can see, Rui Martins going through the fourth corner here.
And Gary Lennon and Kevin Cox are in the pits. Oscar Hardwick reduces his gap to Marcel Bonnet to 25 seconds. So definitely catching up. Marcel Bonnet, despite not is in first position, but might be struggling now with his older tyres. So we might see him pit sometime soon. The sooner the better, though, given the fact that Oscar seems to be catching up at quite a rate of knots at the moment.
And right now, Matt Horst driving at the moment for his. He's all alone there, driving for his own. Going onto the start straight. Callum McClure is also driving for his own since the beginning of the race.
Yep, almost since the beginning of the race. Yeah, he's almost been on his own, but he's only 6 seconds behind Frederick Schwanstein. So I'll wonder if he can catch up and try and get on the podium by the end of the race. We're now only about 15 minutes left now. So still got 15 minutes to make his move on Frederick Schwanstein. This will almost certainly be the first time that Freddie wouldn't have finished on the podium if Callum does catch up with him.
I just got a message from Leon Charmant. He said he was disqualified, but he doesn't know why he didn't get any warnings. So maybe it was because of a blue flag he ignored or something like that.
Maybe a blue flag, yep.
As we can just see Callum McLure on his way to the corkscrew with his Aston Martin, which is a really nice car too. The sound is really great.
Rui Martin's back in the pits as well. I guess a last minute splash and dash, or maybe some damage there. Oscar Hardwick decreased the gap to now 23 seconds, so Marcel is definitely losing some time.
Yeah, I think it's just like we said, Oscar was in the pits and Marcel wasn't, so maybe he will come into the pits for the last few minutes.
Maybe. I wonder if he'll do what's the last lap slash and dash maybe.
Yeah, could be. Just to push the last laps a few.
Yep, indeed. I bet his tyres must be screaming at the moment.
Yeah, I think so.
Certainly a bit of a wiggle there. Bit of a wiggle there on the in the final corner.
And there was a spin in the corkscrew. I'm currently searching who it was. It was Gary Lennon who just spun there.
Gary Lennon currently running in 7th position.
And Dennis Kufal is standing on track at the moment.
Dennis Kufal seems to be running again now.
He's going again now. Yeah, he was just standing on the straight before the last corner. Maybe he spun out too, but he can continue the race as it seems.
He's the final runner in the pack at the moment. Is Dennis Kufal, currently 3 laps down. In front of him is Balad Sorban, not too far in front of him though, on track. So maybe Dennis will be able to have a battle with Balad Sorban going into the final 10 minutes of the race.
Yeah, and Gary Lennon has some problems, it seems like, because he was spinning in the corkscrew and spun in the first corner too. He just got back on the track.
Seems to be stepping out a little bit.
Yeah, seems like
maybe some overheating on the rear tyres or a bit of increased wear. Seemed to hold it quite nicely into that left-hander though. So we'll see how he does in this corkscrew again. This might be seems to be back to normal again.
Yeah, seems like.
Ready to make a move on Dennis Kufal, for whom the blue flags will almost certainly be waving again. Oscar Hardwick and Marcel Bonnet, gap is now down to 22 seconds.
As we just can see, Frederick Schornstein approaching 2 cars to overlap. It's Ballas Orban in front of him.
And David O'Reilly.
Yeah. He's already flashing. And he gets a space.
So it almost seems as though the race is now almost panning out. Most guys almost now seem to be running on their own, or in amongst traffic of the back markers.
Good move from David O'Reilly, who just let Frederick pass there. But he has to watch out for Ballas Orban there.
Balad Sorban is a lap down at the moment on David O'Reilly, so
Yeah, but
however,
David O'Reilly
Rui
just...
Martins is coming up to David O'Reilly for position, so this could pan out.
As David Loris just enters the pits.
Yep.
He's just entering the pits.
And that's also for position, so David O'Reilly and Rui Martins will move up to 14th and 15th. Davy Lowry's down to 16th after pitting. And Gary Lennon has just left the race as well. This leaves us with 17 drivers now. Gary Lennon with a DNF. Oscar Hardwick seems to have lost some time now to Marcel Bonnet. The gap is 25 seconds again. Not sure what happened there, but Oscar seems to be on the pace and catching up. David Lowry seems like quite a long pit stop, and bit of an incident there. Bit of an incident there for Franklin Stegging. Hit the inside wall along the pit straight. Spinning his rear tyres coming out of the final corner. So Rui Martin's catching up with David O'Reilly there, so this will be a battle for 13th position. Callum McClure also coming up to them. This will be a fairly easy move, I should imagine, as the blue flags will be waved for Rui Martins and David O'Reilly.
How much time is left in the race?
Just under 10 minutes left of the race now.
12 minutes.
12 minutes, okay. Official sources from the race tell us there's 12 minutes left in the race now.
The marshals say.
The marshals, yeah.
the race driving marshals say.
Do you have some fuel for me?
A bit fuel?
How much?
I have only fuel for 9 minutes.
You're gonna have to coast for the rest of the race, then, I guess. Marcel Bonnet still hasn't pitted. This is crazy. I mean, it's almost like he might well finish this race without having to pit. Marcel Bonnet, who started, I believe, from 3rd position. Absolutely fantastic race up at the top. Just about to lap Matt Horst again as well. Matt Horst moves well out the way of the leader, and Marcel now catching Stefan Kanitz. Stefan Kanitz is the lowest guy in 5th position who hasn't been lapped this race. So Marcel catching him at a rate of knots there. We're on lap 35 now, with about 10 minutes left to go in the race.
Yeah, we're currently in the leader's car in the cockpit of Marcel. As he's approaching Stefan Kanitz. And this guy has an incredibly fast pace. He's going through that left-hander before the corkscrew almost 10 kilometers per hour faster than some other drivers here. Almost doing 180 kilometers per hour.
Simon Kreisman has just lost the place to Rui Martins. He'd just overtaken Rui Martins and now lost the place again. So Rui Martins is now still trying to catch up with David O'Reilly, but the gap there has increased somewhat, I believe. So it looks like Rui Martins has lost some time to David O'Reilly.
Yeah, but he almost can see David O'Reilly on the straights.
Yep, that's true, yeah.
As we're just seeing Rui Martins here. Going just through the corkscrew.
Kevin Cox behind David O'Reilly. Kevin Cox is currently in 7th position. Easily overtook him there. Blue flags waving. Dennis Kufal also unlapped himself, I believe there.
And I think the gap is he's closing the gap. Rui Martins is closing the gap.
Rui Martins has considerably closed the gap.
Yeah, he's now directly behind David O'Reilly.
In 10 minutes. Yeah, in 10 minutes. Oh, I'll still go anyway.
He's directly behind David O'Reilly. So for the last few laps, this could be a battle for us to show.
Yep, I believe so, yeah. Rui Martins and David O'Reilly.
They're very close.
They are very, very close indeed. It looks like David O'Reilly might be struggling a little bit with tyres, maybe. Rui Martins, who has pitted for sure, is on fresher tyres, I guess, then. Got the upper edge, especially on this well rubbered in circuit. And the gap closes there in the corkscrew.
Yeah, he's definitely coming closer there.
Incredibly close now.
So we're just on board with Rui Martins here.
As Rui Martins comes up the inside, oh, and he wasn't quite beside David O'Reilly going into that final corner, but he's now on David O'Reilly's tail. Will he look up the inside going into the first corner? No, not quite. No, very, very close there though.
David O'Reilly just closed the gap, closed the door there for him. He couldn't get on the inside, so he had to stay on the outside.
Rui Martins looks like he's got so much more pace. He's braking so much later than David O'Reilly.
Yeah,
and seems to be catching up in the braking zones.
I think he's waiting just for the right moment to overtake him.
Yeah. Oh, and that may be it.
Nope, it isn't.
Very close there. Very, very close.
Yeah. And he goes a bit wide and...
David O'Reilly going a bit right. Yeah. Rui Martins is making the pass and successfully made the pass for 12th position. So Rui Martins moved up into 12th position. David O'Reilly is now in 13th position and cut the corner there. I guess David O'Reilly is really struggling with his tyres there. Rui Martins, with his fresher tyres, made a nice clean pass there. Took his time, found a perfect position. Put a lot of pressure on David O'Reilly, made him mess up, and made almost a textbook move there.
Yeah, and I think we will not see any pit stops now because it would cost more time to pit than to race on with your tyres.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. And Marcel Bonnet, that's unbelievable. On a single single set of tyres and a single tank of fuel has absolutely, I guess, dominated this race, even though it wasn't in first position for the entirety of it. Absolutely fantastic from Marcel Bonnet there.
But it seems like he's struggling too.
He's struggling with tyres, yeah, he's definitely struggling with tyres.
He's just
I'm watching the
sliding
live
around a
telemetry
bit.
here, and he's really being very careful with his throttle inputs, and
yeah, and as you can see in some corners, you just see his back stepping out. He's
and
sliding
then
quite much at the moment.
the official time remaining in the race is
4:30.
4 minutes and 30 minutes. Though we are less than 5 minutes from the end of the race. Almost sure that Marcel Bonnet now won't. Oscar Hardwick, a fantastic race from him. He's closed the gap to 21 seconds. But it doesn't look like it's going to be his day, which is such a shame after a fantastic start to the race.
Yeah, the pit stop cost him a lot of time, and that's
Yep,
why
indeed.
he's not on the pole here. Oh, and he goes a bit wide
Running
here.
a bit wide there,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's okay.
I think
just,
he's
got back
he's
into it.
really pushing to try and increase that gap.
Yeah, he's
20 seconds now is the gap. There's not enough time now, I believe, for him to catch up, even if Marcel makes a mistake. Although the gap is now down to 19 seconds, so you never know.
I don't
Frederick
think in 4
Schornstein
minutes,
is
4
then-
minutes 20 seconds is a bit too much. Only chance he has is that Marcel just
messes up.
spins out.
Yeah. Although with the tyres that Marcel is on, you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
And in the 458 as well. I mean, this is such a shock. I mean, the car is very rigid on this track, bouncing about all over the place. So it's not only amazing that it's going to finish in first position. It's amazing that it's done it on a single set of tyres. Front runners all now on the same lap, all on 40 laps.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that that Oscar is pushing and pushing and pushing. He's just flying through that corkscrew. He's pushing to the limit. He's trying to close that gap.
Fraglin Stegging currently picking his way, trying to flags, probably waving furiously at Franklin Stegging there to move out the way of second place man Oscar Hardwick.
But I think the gap is too big for blue flags there. But okay, Fragling just got out of the way.
Dennis Koufal and David Lowry's having a fight there for 15th position. Absolutely fantastic fight there.
Yeah, I can see that at the moment here. Dennis Koufal in his Lamborghini with David Lowris in his BMW.
Dennis Koufal moving out all over the track, trying to make a move,
Oh,
stick
nice
on David Lowris,
move,
and he's
nice
made a move
move
on the
there.
inside. Absolutely amazing move
Nice
there.
move there.
Coming up the inside. David Lowry's wouldn't have been expecting that, making it Dennis Koufal making it look like he was going wide and going around the outside and then snuck up the inside. Fantastic move. I don't think David Lowry's is going to let that slip though. He's going to try and keep on Dennis Koufal's tail, although lost a bit of time going into the first corner.
Yeah, there's quite a gap now.
Yeah, in a minute.
So just 1 minute to go here in this race. Oh, and David O'Reilly just spun out there.
Yeah, I was just looking there at Marcel Bonnet and saw David O'Reilly's name stick there for quite a while. David O'Reilly in 12th position at the moment.
But he's back on track without any problems. He just spun and stopped on the gravel there. Marcel Gerber is still driving without his front. But looks really stable there.
some complaints coming in from some of the drivers listening to the pit radios, complaining about some of the blue flags there. I believe that they're being the punishments are being given out quite harshly, given that the blue flags are being waved way too soon.
Yeah, that could possibly be just as Dennis Kufal had two drive-throughs because of it.
Dennis Kufal was definitely complaining, as was Rui Martins. I believe somebody else also was also complaining.
As we just see Gijs van Elderen here approaching the second last corner, who is also low on fuel and has completely damaged tires, as it seems, because he has also
and I believe the that the leader
and
is
the time
almost...
is over. The time is over now.
Oh no, it's going uphill.
So Simon Kreisman,
Simon Kreisman is just he's just crossing.
Ran out of fuel and crossed the line. I tell you what, did Simon Kreisman finish the race?
Oh, and big crash
Yes,
there.
I did.
He finished the
Kreisman
race.
Finished the race. Even ran out of fuel as well. As Marcel Bonnet is coming round the penultimate corner now to finish the race. 15 seconds ahead of Oscar Hardwick, so Oscar managed to close the gap considerably.
He's going into the pits.
Oh, mate, hey, did he make a mistake? Oh, maybe the race had already finished.
I just saw
Oscar Hardwick is right behind him.
That
okay, maybe the race had finished. Oh no, okay, the race finished in the pits by the look of it.
They are both standing there. Okay.
And that's
I
the
just
end of the race, guys.
I got the checkered flag as Simon Kreisman just went over the line just a few seconds before that.
Yeah, I thought so as well. So both both leaders finishing the race in the pits for some reason, but the result stands. Marcel Bonnet is the winner of the race. Followed by Oscar Hardwick, who finished 15 seconds behind them, apparently, even though they were right behind one another. And in third position, Frederick Schornstein, then Callum McClure, Stefan Kanitz rounds up the top 5 of this race.
Yeah, so that was the 4th race of the GT3 Club.
Yep.
On Laguna
Thank
Seca.
you very much. Yeah, so thank you very much for tuning in with us, guys. We hope you enjoyed the race. We certainly enjoyed the commentary and the race. Absolutely fantastic race. And we hope to bring you more again soon.
Yeah, sure. So, I would say see you again in the next races, or maybe earlier. And
yeah, so that's a goodbye from me, Dame Patel. Goodbye from Ricardo Edelman. And a goodbye from Simon Kreisman, our trackside
Marshall.
Our trackside expert Marshall safety car driver.
Who drove the race.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys.
See ya.
Yeah, see you.